Author of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which Congress passed and President Clinton signed into law in 1998. It is the communications constitution when it comes to protecting kids online, but we need to update it to take into account the explosive growth and innovation in the online ecosystem over the last 13 years. I commend the Federal Trade Commission for its thoughtful and comprehensive review and for its proposed changes to that rule, which reflect and reinforce many of the same safeguards contained in the Do Not Track Kids Act that I introduced this past May with Representative Joe Barton. As in our bill, the Commission appropriately notes that teens should be provided with clear information about how their personal data is used and also empowered to exercise control over these uses. As in our bill, the Commission also proposes to add children's location information under the category of personal data that require a parent's permission before it's collected or used. Given the potential for this sensitive data to be misused to endanger a child, the Commission's proposal in this area is a much-needed step. I commend the Commission for rejecting arguments that voluntary, self-regulatory efforts are the best way to address privacy concerns in connection with behavioral targeting of children online. Strong legal requirements, along with vigilant enforcement, are needed to protect children from tracking and targeting on the Internet. Children should be able to grow up in an electronic oasis that enables access to online education, communication, and entertainment opportunities in a safe environment. And I look forward to working with you, Madam Chair, and all the members of the committee so that we can strengthen privacy safeguards and ensure that kids and teens are protected when they go online, and that is why I introduced the Do Not Track Kids Act. Mr. Simpson, you mentioned in your testimony that teens still need privacy protection online because, as we know, copper covers users 12 and younger. I agree with you. And the Do Not Track Kids bill that Joe Barton and I introduced provides teens with safeguards specifically tailored for their age group without expanding the copper structure to adolescents. Can you expand on Common Sense's views on privacy protections for teens, please?
Thank you, sir. We think you're taking very much the right approach. There's a complicated issue here called child development, and we all know that not all 8-year-olds are the same. 8-year-olds are not the same as 14-year-olds, and 14-year-olds are not the same as 20-year-olds, and many 20-year-olds act like 12-year-olds. But the reality is that teens need something more than they have right now. The FTC's recommendations are very valuable for kids under 13, but there are a lot of 13 and 14 and 15-year-olds who are quite capable of making mistakes in this innovative space, and those mistakes can come back to haunt them. They need opportunities, and they need a lot more education, and they need a lot more information that's actionable. They need resources they can use that are designed for their age group, not for lawyers who are well-versed in privacy.
Thank you. Dr. Montgomery, do you agree that younger teens need a framework for them as well? Perhaps
yes,
not for the 12 and under, but something tailored for that group.
Yes, I do, and this is something I've felt very strongly about for a long time, since we were debating COPPA, where the issue of whether we ought to apply the COPPA protections to teens was very much part of the discussion at that time. And what I really believe is that we do need protections here. What we've seen is with COPPA, we have a framework where there's an industry that appreciates the concerns about children, but with teenagers, it's been no holds barred and no real sensitivity to their concerns. So,
can I ask, what is your response to the questions that are raised about the eraser button that Mr. Barton and I have included in our bill? What do you think about its functionality as a way for parents to be able to protect kids?
I don't really know how the eraser button will work, but I do believe, as my colleague Alan Simpson has said, that teenagers themselves should be able to have some control over the information they've placed online.
Do you agree, Mr. Simpson, what is your view in terms of the eraser button?
Absolutely, and we don't know exactly how they will work, but I think the key is here we've seen a lot of innovation on how to collect and not enough innovation on how to protect. And I think something like an eraser button is a tool that industry can design to empower teens in richer ways.
Okay, thank you. And and I thank all of you for your participation in this very, very important discussion. It's only going to get more and more dangerous for kids if we don't put these safeguards in place.